This is Jacob Pearman. Jacob was a fitness trainer who took shortcuts to get the results he was after. He became involved in not only the use of steroids, but also their manufacturing and distribution. It wouldn't take very long for Jacob to get caught and convicted in federal court. He would be sentenced to 2 years in federal prison, followed by 2 years of probation. Shortly after his release, Jacob would meet Carla Dillard and her 8-year-old son, and after several months of dating, they would all move in together. During this time, Jacob was still on probation. This meant that if he was to get into trouble for any reason, he would be sent back to prison for several years. Jacob would begin to have issues with Carla's son. It began a few days before Christmas when a local elementary school teacher would see Carla's son running barefoot, wearing only pajamas, with the outside temperatures well below freezing. The boy explained that he was running away from home, so the teacher immediately called the police. The police would conduct a welfare check, and they would find that Carla's son had several injuries. He had red marks on his rib cage that resembled a footprint, marks around his neck, and a knot on the back of his head. When asked about his injuries, he would tell police that Jacob had caused them. Social services would step in and remove the child from the home. They stated that he would be much safer with his biological father. Jacob would be charged with child abuse, and a court date was set. He knew that if he was convicted, he would violate his probation and be sent back to jail. Jacob begged Carla to go to his court date and testify on his behalf, but Carla had a different plan. After losing her son, she had contacted a lawyer seeking help in getting him back. The lawyer told her that she needed to remove Jacob from her home and file for divorce. The night before Jacob's court date, he would ask again for her help, but Carla would inform him that not only was she filing for divorce, but also she told him that he had to move out as well. Jacob did not like what he was hearing, and in a fit of rage, he took Carla's life. Emotion. Jacob, what happened when you said you lost your school? Yeah, I just remember I hit her. Question. Detective. Okay, where'd you hit her? Jacob, we were laying there right there next to each other, Dad, I think it was. Yeah, I can't remember what it was, but she kept giving me because I was asking her certain things, and I knew she was lying to me about things that would just tear me up, And it was like she much less care, and that's why her was when I was she's like, I don't need to be worried about you, and maybe we're gonna get my son back. That's what I was hurt, and I'm like, I didn't do it in your son. I'm the one that's facing whatever consequence that could come from that because of something I didn't do, And I think I just had it. Detective, how long do you think you took? A long time. Jacob, was she unconscious when you got the choke? Detective, yes, sir. Did you check to see if she was okay after that? Jacob, no, I know she wasn't. Did you know she was dead by then? Detective, yes, sir. So you knew that you had choked her until she had died? Jacob, how many times did you strike her? Detective, there was a trash bag laying in my bed. I'll try to kill myself, and I'm just gonna do it with the church back, and I didn't have my God. That's all I wanted. I just wanted to, I've been through so much in life, I just did not care anymore. That's why I got too many, my gun being gone, I don't know where it's at. Detective, do as far as choking her. Jacob, she's both hands, yes, sir. Were you on top of her? Kinda, and then we kind of went into the pool a little bit, and then I put it back into that. Okay, so you hit the others over? Was she deceased when you put her back in the bed? Detective, so basically, what you're telling me is that y'all are basically in bed. I want to make sure I understand this. I'm not trying to realize things. I just want to make sure we understand that y'all were laying in bed, and that while y'all were laying in bed, y'all were talking and apparently arguing. Of course, she helped me with each other. Yeah, throughout the day, we were probably arguing. We left the living room, and even while she was sitting in the bathroom with me while I was in the shower, we were still going off about it, never ending a conversation over it. So basically, from the time you got home up until, this occurred, y'all were arguing over the whole DCS and that issue. Jacob, and basically at some point, you said you said you lost your goal or what? I don't know if I was just getting up on everything, devastating hurt. I'm really the one person, I guess, that in my life that I never thought would turn against me no matter what. Did you think she was going to betray you? Yeah, is that what you were thinking? And her parents were trying to get her to do that the whole time. Detective, so how do you think she was going to betray you? She just wasn't going to be there. She was going to be there, and she said she wasn't going to go with either story, which would still hurt me. You know, she knows how I was. Now, she wasn't going to go with either story like she, because of what DCS told her, and what some attorney that she talked to apparently told her that she did not need to be there, and I need to be out of the house immediately if she ever wanted to get her son back. That was exactly what she said DCS told her, and she was worried she'd never get her something. She was worried if she showed up with me to court today, that would make her look like a horrible mother. And she was just dead. They got that in her head that she'd be a horrible person if she showed her in court. That means, you know what we were going on with that, and I can't remember what it was, she did it exactly, but it was just certainly she was saying that emotion. Jacob, I didn't tell my all by any means, and I just told him I hurt her really, really bad, and he got really nervous, and he was discouraged on your face and neck that's underneath your eye. You have any other scratches on you? I'm not sure, I think just now. Question. Detective, Jacob, do you mind if you brought me out what you told me here today? That way we have it in your words. Jacob, yeah, okay. Detective, all right, let me get some paper and stuff for you, and a pen. You need this one. Do you really want a drink? Jacob would be convicted of first-degree murder and receive life in prison for taking Carla's life. Jacob spent his life taking shortcuts because he wanted to be a winner. When he found out that Carla was going to choose her son over him, he killed her because he could not stand the thought of being a loser. Pearman is accused of murdering his wife Carla on Valentine's Day in 2013 and abusing her then 7-year-old son. New at 5, our Talia Kaplan has the latest from the Rutherford County Courthouse. Today, the defense presented their case to the jury. They argue that Jacob Pearman is depressed, mentally ill, and troubled. Emotion. Reporter, how was your relationship with Carla? Jacob, I loved her. On the stand, Jacob Pearman's mother, Donna, and his sister, Amy Stevens, talked about his relationship with his wife of 3 months. They both testified saying even after he was charged with child abuse, the couple seemed affectionate. Carla spoke with them about their plans. She was eager and excited to have a baby with Jacob. Stevens says she saw and spoke with her brother several times after he was charged with child abuse, and he never told you he was suicidal. Question. Prosecutor, and you've never seen suicidal or depressed? Amy Stevens, no sir, I had not. Donna Pearman said the night before Carla was murdered, her then 30-year-old son talked to her about inappropriate pictures on his phone. He said, Mom, I've told Carla that sometimes I have trouble with sex. And he said, Mom, I told her I was right when I was 5 years old, and Mommy never talked to me about it. She testified saying he was allegedly raped by an 8 or 9-year-old neighbor. She said she only called a pediatrician about it. He said, talk to him now, but unless he comes to you, don't bring it up to him again, okay? And this is the first time that he brought it up to you in 25 years after Mrs. Pearman had found inappropriate pictures on his cell phone, correct? Yes. Thank you for watching. I will see you next time here on this YouTube channel.